Thank you, Mr Speaker. To the Prime Minister, does he stand by all of his government's statements and actions?
The Honourable Prime Minister. Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Yes, and especially our action to crack down on serious offending. I was out in Auckland on Saturday night seeing the fantastic results from having more cops out on the beat. And we know visible policing can have a real impact, with serious assaults down 22% in the last year in the Auckland CBD. But this week's data on our violent crime confirms what many Kiwis already know. Violent crime has risen in recent years and we need a much more aggressive response. That's why we're giving police more tools to go after gangs and why we're bringing in tougher sentences for violent and repeat offenders. So I'd encourage that member, if he's serious about restoring law and order and keeping communities safe, back our gang laws so we can get on with the job and clean up the mess that he left behind.
Supplementary question, Mr Speaker. How many jobs in the building and construction sector were affected by the government's decision to cut $2 billion from school building and maintenance projects?
If the member would like to direct a specific question to the Minister, I'm sure we can come back with the numbers. But what I would just say to that member is that there is no doubt about it, it is a tough time for New Zealanders at the moment and people are losing their jobs. And that member has to ask the question, why is that? It is because the economy's in recession. The economy's in recession because interest rates are sky high. Interest rates are sky high because inflation went through the roof. And why did inflation go through the roof? Because of wasteful government spending. And yet we hear from that member that he wants to borrow more and he wants to tax more. You don't tax your way out of a recession.
Good, okay. Well, that was question one. It was incredibly rowdy, so we'll just moderate from this point on. Right Honourable Chris Hipkins.
It's a point of order, Mr Speaker. I wonder whether the Prime Minister could attempt to answer the question that I asked him rather than just a general diatribe about how mean and nasty he thinks the Labor Party is.
Yeah, good. He most definitely attempted to answer it. Do you have another supplementary?
Sure. Mr Speaker, how many jobs in the building and construction sector were affected by the government's decision to cut $1.5 billion from the State House build and maintenance program, including thousands of already consented new homes for vulnerable New Zealanders?
Well, I disagree with the characterisation of that question. I'd just say in answer to his further question, there's actually been more money put into school buildings. That's what we're doing. But I just say, again, we are in a tough time because of the economic mess that the Labor government left behind. And you have to take some responsibility for that as the former Prime Minister and as a former government, and you're not.
Supplementary question, Mr Speaker. Could the $530 million plummet in building activity between the June 2023 and June 2024 quarters be due to his government cutting $2 billion from school build and maintenance projects, $1.5 billion from State House building and maintenance projects, and funding from hospital rebuilds?
We did not cut anything from school buildings, but I just say to that member, we are where we are in the election, we are where we are in the economic cycle by virtue of the decisions that your government made. Businesses have hung on through a recession, businesses have hung on through high interest rates, they've hung on through high levels of inflation, and now they're having to lay off workers. That is the consequence and the history of economics. I hope that you learned something about economics on the UK trip.
I didn't want to interrupt the answer, but that exchange is unacceptable. It's not a screaming match from one side of the House to the answer, it's question and answers.
Well, point of order, Mr Speaker.
Oh, point of order, the Right Honourable Chris Hipkins.
Mr Speaker, I think you'll find the crowd noise on both sides of the House is directly related to the quality of the answers being given. Where the Prime Minister decides to start attacking the questioner personally, that is going to provoke a certain sort of response.
Look, the member is absolutely right. It is about the quality of the question and the quality of the answer, and both sides will have different opinions on that. They can keep them to themselves.
Supplementary question. Does he believe his government's decision to cut billions of dollars from infrastructure projects like schools, state houses and hospitals has contributed in any way to the fact that there are over 8,000 fewer people employed in building and construction today compared to when he became Prime Minister?